Yeah, we're coming to you from the Robinson Forest in the Crook of Breathitt, not in Perry County. We're getting students from a local community an opportunity to learn about a resource that they never knew about in terms of forest hydrology, research on best practices for forestry and water quality, getting them exposed to that, helping them develop some skills, and really getting them thinking, getting their gears turning about ways that they might be change makers and engaging in activities related to environmental issues in the future.
This is a project that really was motivated by the 2022 flash floods. And as you recall, that really devastated parts of eastern Kentucky. We came together with a team from the University of Louisville, University of Kentucky, Eastern Kentucky University, Marshall University in West Virginia, as well as West Virginia University, with the goal of trying to better understand why flash floods happen and how can we better predict them.
So just getting students to touch and handle things with their hands and smell the air and hear the sound of the winds in the trees and those kinds of things is transformative for learning. So here we were able to get them out and dig some soil. They got to use a soil probe. They got to feel it in their hands. Probably a bunch of them garden with their parents and grandparents, and they have sort of an experience of soil. But hopefully we were able to give them some terminology and some practices to describe and think about that soil, so that now the next time that they're out in the garden, they'll be thinking about organic matter and texture and some of those other kinds of things. I think events like this can just sort of open up that new chapter where now you sort of have permission to look at leaves and start describing them and thinking about them. And to recognize that you don't have to go somewhere away from home to ask relevant questions and do meaningful work and learn and explore and be creative. Like, you can do that in your own backyard.
What we find is that middle schoolers are at that age where they're beginning to explore career options and their interests. And I think if we can get them interested in issues around sustainability and environmental issues now, that's something that they're going to carry on through high school and hopefully into careers.
It gives them some connection with the concepts that they are learning in class. Let's take it out in the field. This is a representation of all our surrounding, and if something happens, this is how it's going to respond. That kind of gives them some ownership into what's happening around here, and for them trying to explain what's going on.
Conveying information at an early age really will help prepare these folks for improving monitoring and modeling and understanding of hydrology and flooding down the line. So really this is kind of building the next generation of those scientists and engineers to help come back to places like this and better monitor and better interpret data to help, better prepare for flooding.
In my mind, if the students can walk away today with questions in their mind, just a curiosity and interest in continuing to learn more about these topics, I think that's a big win today. And if they can develop some skills, learn some new facts, that's just icing on the cake.